Hello friends, it's Tim here for another update video, and I want to share some thoughts out of Psalm 143 with you. I'm going to read verses 7 through 10. The psalmist David says this: "Answer me quickly, O Lord, my spirit fails. Hide not your face from me, lest I be like those who go down to the pit. Let me hear in the morning of your steadfast love, for in you I trust. Make me know the way I should go, for to you I lift up my soul. Deliver me from my enemies, O Lord. I have fled to you for refuge. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. Let your good spirit lead me on level ground." Now, if you were with us for Sunday and you heard the sermon, one of the big topics there that came up in Jesus' feeding of the 5,000 was the issue of our needs and just bringing out what an abundant provider for our needs, primarily spiritually, Jesus is, both as our teacher and shepherd, and the one who gave his life and even laid down his body so that we might be forgiven and have spiritual life forever. But some of that sense of our neediness of God is really reflected here in this psalm, and I wanted to bring it out and share a few thoughts from it, largely because the Psalms give such wonderful kind of vocabulary for the kind of needs that we have before God. You can see that the psalmist is in desperate straits as he's seeking God. He's being pursued by enemies. He feels like he's in mortal danger. And what he seeks and what he needs is refuge and safety in God. This metaphor of refuge, I just love the idea of, maybe being in a storm, a very severe storm, and you see like a cave you could hide in, and you're like, I really need to get in the blizzard or whatever. I need to really get inside there. Or in battle. If there is maybe enemy fire going all around, you need to get into a fortified position, and that sense of neediness and safety and trust that the psalmist even says, "For in you I trust." He also needs to hear assurance of God's love. He says, "Let me hear in the morning of your steadfast love." And that term, of course, refers to the covenant, committed love of God. And he's saying, I need your assurances. I need your reminding of your love for me in this covenant. Also, I think this might surprise us that what he needs too is the Lord's teaching. He says, "Make me know the way I should go," and then later on says, "Teach me to do your will." So there's a sense of really this comprehensive neediness for God, not only to just protect him, but to even supply him. This sense we talked about Sunday of we need to be led, we need to be taught, we need to understand the world, and we need to understand God, and we need to understand what a good life looks like. And God's commands and his proverbs and his warnings and his wisdom are all given for that very purpose, to lead us to a blessed life under him. And so he's saying, I need your teaching as well. I don't just need the physical safety from enemies. I need to be led by you in green pastures, so to speak. And then he also even says, "Let your good spirit lead me on level ground." He understands that he knows he needs the Spirit of God to lead him. He needs God even working on him internally to move him toward those ways that God's will, kind of objectively outside himself, has declared in the Word. And these are all the exact same needs that we have as God's covenant people. In fact, like so many of the Psalms, we could see this kind of cry, this kind of dependence on God most fully exhibited in the life of Jesus himself. As in so many ways, the Psalms are written to kind of give us the script for the life of Christ himself. You often see the New Testament authors citing the Psalms that way. And every one of these things, this sense of trust, this sense of desperate dependence on the Father in Christ's travails and pains and trials in this world, the sense of needing the Spirit to lead him, and the Spirit being such an important part of understanding Christ's own life, delighting in the commands of God, saying, "It's my food to do the will of my Father." That sense of kind of a needy sense of wanting to obey him and wanting his lead. And we even hear the Father pronounce his steadfast love for his Son in things like his baptism, saying, "You're my beloved Son." And that sense that the Father surrounding his Son with this assurance of love. And the Son needed that as a man, beset with all the weaknesses and temptations that he was. And so as we look at the Psalm, we look at David in history, but even more supremely looking at Christ in his own life and in his own fulfillment of these things, we get this sense of to be a needy and desperate person seeking God in all these things according to his promises, according to his steadfast love, needing not only the kind of immediate keep me from this danger, but this deeper sense of I need your comprehensive lead in my life is so needful for all of us. So if you're ever, we find ourselves in those situations of needing to cry out to him, and this again just helpfully supplies us with concepts, vocabulary, examples of what that looks like. And remember, the Psalms are divinely inspired. So God is writing this. He wants us to pray this way to him. So I hope that's an encouragement to all of you as it is to me. I want to let you know about a few things going on in the life of our church. Of course, we have corporate worship this Sunday at 10:30, as we have been meeting outside in the yard. So that'll be happening. Also, something that's newer, if you were at the members meeting, you heard us talking, and there was some conversation about possible options for children's ministry, even in the midst of these coronavirus provisions. And Gary and some other gracious volunteers have been working on putting together a plan. And so we are actually going to begin a children's ministry during that corporate worship this Sunday. It's for children who are kindergarten and younger. And every parent of someone who's that age will receive an email this week, but you can also find information in the newsletter email that this video is embedded in. So again, children's ministry will be offered for kindergarten and younger. Also, we're continuing our Zoom Equipping Hour series, 5 p.m. on Sunday, on the fear of man. And there are a number of other things going on in the church life, activities, ministry opportunities that you can read about in the newsletter. But for now, love you and look forward to seeing you on Sunday. All right, bye-bye.